Hey guys, Sahsimon here, and today I'm talking to you about Dark Alliance 3, a game coming out later this year. In today's video, we will be talking about what we know so far about Dark Alliance 3 and what it could mean for the game's release. If you guys enjoy my silky smooth voice, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Here we go. So the original Dark Alliance games came out in 2001 and 2004. They were set in Baldur's Gate and were a top-down, action-packed, loot-grinding good time to be had by all. The first game set you up with 3 character class types to play: Fighter, Archer, and Magic User. The second game expanded on this and added 5 characters: Barbarian, Rogue, Cleric, Monk, and Necromancer. Each character could be outfitted with different armor and weapons, and as you went along and leveled up, you were able to pick and choose new abilities to add to your characters. These games also use the D&D official rules and skills, so leveling up your characters and getting new gear was a big deal and what made the game so much fun. This new game, however, is changing up the formula. Using the D&D 5th edition rule set, this game will be set in Icewind Dale, an area not unfamiliar to those who know Forgotten Realms. It's a cold tundra that is pretty much a death sentence unless you know how to handle yourself, that's what she said. Enemies of this area are also pretty well known, and we can see some of them from the trailers, such as goblins, orcs, bugbears, giants, and yetis, and even a dragon. There is word there will be other iconic D&D monsters in the game, so who knows what else we will be fighting. Another new change will be the game's viewpoint. Instead of the top-down view, we will now be in third-person mode, probably why the trailer shows combat the way it does. This change is being made to help make the player feel more like they are in combat. Combat seems to be their main focus here. It's been said that there are dozens upon dozens of moves for each character to perform, the reason being that each of these characters' movesets can interact and correspond with another member of the group's skills and abilities. This is a very cool idea and should add levels upon levels of fun when playing with friends or online and upon replays. And again, you can see some of this in the game trailer. Speaking of which, the old Dark Alliance games were co-op friendly, meaning you and a buddy could sit down and play together through the entire game on the same screen. I remember doing this for like 2 weeks straight with my cousin. Future games have done away with this feature, much to the dismay of gamers, but Dark Alliance 3 is bringing it back. We are getting co-op plus online, so now all you friendless people can get online and find other people who can't stand you. However, the main takeaway from everything about the game should be the characters we get to play as, because we get to play as the companions of the Hall. And if you don't know who that is, then damn, you're not as big a nerd as I am. I don't want to get too much into who these characters are in the video. Let's just say these 4 characters are super badass, and the main one, Dritz Dwarden, who was a playable character in Dark Alliance 2, is the mega badass of the group and just about the whole world, really, at least as far as the books go. Speaking of which, the story for this game is supposed to be big and is set after The Crystal Shard, the first novel in the Dritz series written by R.A. Salvatore. There are over 20 books in the Dritz series and they span a lot of time, so there is a lot of stuff for them to pull and use. But the game is set in Icewind Dale, so I don't know if we will be getting too far away from that area. The game is supposed to be a new story involving these heroes, so it's possible the story for this game could create its own future storyline separate from the books, or we might just get a cool side story that fits in nicely with all the novels. But my guess would be the former on this one. The hard thing about not knowing this information is how it relates to these characters. Just as a quick example, Catti-Brie uses a bow in the game trailer, but she doesn't get her classic magical bow until close to the end of the second book in the Crystal Shard trilogy. However, we were told the game takes place after the first novel, but no other information is given on that time frame, as I said. I only bring this up because it could relate to some of these characters' weapons and abilities. Until we know more, this type of information will be prime stuff for speculation. Similarly, the dragon at the end of the trailer could possibly be Shimmergloom, the shadow dragon Bruenor fights to reclaim Mithril Hall. Again, this is an event that happens in the middle of the end of the second book in the Crystal Shard trilogy, so take that stuff as you may. Ah shit, what else? The characters. Each of these characters will have their own goals and missions to help them level up. There will be a skill set for each of these characters along with dozens of moves for each of them that will unlock and upgrade as the game progresses. Also, each character will have their own builds. Dritz is a badass Dark Elf fighter. Wulfgar is a barbarian. His big deal will be his weapon, Aegis Fang, which was made by Bruenor. Wulfgar is able to throw his hammer at his foes and recall it back to his hand simply by saying its name. Think God of War with the axe, but instead of it flying back to you, it just reappears in your hands. That's what she said. Bruenor is a dwarf king and leader of Clan Battlehammer. He fights with an axe and shield that has a foaming mug on it. It is the symbol of his clan, Battlehammer. Originally, these items held no extra abilities or powers. However, in the later novels, his axe becomes a fire axe, and he is able to make magical mugs of ale from his shield that gives you random magical properties. Catti-Brie, as I said before, fights with a bow. She later on learns how to fight with a sword and becomes pretty good with it, but this time around it looks like she will be an archer type character, which is great. That bow is super badass. There are a few other random characters that could pop up in the game, but I doubt we will get to play as any other characters unless you beat the game and they have some hidden characters for us. Anyway, that's all I have for you on this one. I will be doing a lot of videos for this game because I'm a total nerd for D&D stuff, and I read all these Dritz books as soon as they come out anyway, so keep an eye out for more of my videos on Dark Alliance 3. I will be doing videos on possible cameos for other characters, weapons, abilities, and so on and so forth. So sub up and, I don't know, get swifty. Peace.